The next ingredient is chromium. Okay, so chromium is a trace mineral which is very beneficial in human health in trace amounts, small amounts. But it's very specifically involved in the process of regulating glucose. So chromium in the Plexus Slim combined with alpha lipoic acid, it's like a power pack. But that's not all. It also has green coffee bean extract. Now, green coffee bean extract is basically coffee beans that have not been roasted. So they still have a ton of polyphenols and antioxidants in them. But it's also very, very good at increasing the body's ability to absorb the sugars effectively. So it can help tame that roller coaster. Garcinia cambogia is another one. It comes from a citrus fruit, and the main component in that is hydroxycitric acid, HCA. There's been a lot of bad press about HCA in the past, and it's because of a company who put a product on the market that wasn't totally safe. And so then all of a sudden the Garcinia cambogia kind of got this bad rap when it actually wasn't Garcinia cambogia. It was more of the way that it was processed and other ingredients that were in it. Anyways, this ingredient also can help increase the production of serotonin. And serotonin is really important, not just for mood, but also in stabilizing blood sugars. So we see all these different ingredients in Slim that help regulate blood sugars. So that is really, really important when we're talking about this roller coaster. The next tool that I would suggest that I use personally is Plexus Block. Now, Plexus Block is a capsule, and it does just like the name suggests. It basically blocks the absorption of almost 50% of the carbohydrates that you would consume. Now, maybe you're thinking, wait, what? How does it do that? Like, that sounds a little crazy, a little fishy, whatever. Don't worry, it's all natural. It's pretty much primarily chromium, like I had just mentioned in the Slim, but it's also brown seaweed and navy bean extract. So it's natural ingredients, but what it does is it blocks a certain enzyme that the body needs to absorb that sugar and carbohydrates. So it doesn't cause the high peaks and low falls. So those are probably the three tools, I would say, that are going to be most beneficial when we're talking about the roller coaster. Now, the other thing I did want to mention would be not necessarily a tool, but something you could probably, something that might be beneficial for some people in regards to helping increase insulin sensitivity, and that is what's known as intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting, please watch the entirety of this video. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Intermittent fasting is where you eat the majority of your calories, your macros for the day, in a specific time frame, a specific window. So if we're talking about an 8-16 schedule or cycle, that means for 8 hours of the day, you're going to eat all your calories, your macros, and then for 16 hours, you fast, pretty much on water is what you would have. And it's more, it has a ton of benefits when we're talking about detoxification and cellular repair, your immune system, so many great things. I'm not going to get into all of those things right now because I'm primarily focused on pillar number 1, blood glucose, but it also can help increase insulin sensitivity. That being said, I mean, I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. I know a lot of people who have done very well on it. That being said, though, it's not for everyone, okay? It is not for everyone. Again, I want to stress, you do need to talk to your doctor before changing any type of eating strategy. So here's the thing with intermittent fasting. Yes, it has all those benefits that I just talked about, but any type of fasting is going to raise cortisol levels. Now, cortisol is a stress hormone. It's one of the flight or fight hormones, okay? Now, that can be very problematic for somebody who is already under chronic stress, who already has elevated cortisol. If you start fasting and it increases that cortisol even further, you're going to not have good symptoms, okay? So please don't just go jumping into intermittent fasting unless you've talked about it with your doctor and you're sure that it's okay for you to start that. Another type of person who probably would want to err on the side of caution with that would be people who have reactive hypoglycemia, because it can cause symptoms that are similar to that. And a lot of times people that have reactive hypoglycemia have that because of elevated cortisol, or they have dysregulated cortisol or a dysregulated body rhythm. Typically, your cortisol levels are supposed to be higher in the morning because that's what wakes you up and gets you out of bed and gives you that boost. But then as the day goes on, your cortisol levels kind of taper off and peter out. And then at nighttime, when they're at their lowest, then that's where melatonin enters and you're able to fall asleep and stay asleep. Some people, though, have a dysregulated rhythm or dysregulated cortisol, and theirs doesn't peak in the morning. Sometimes theirs peaks at night. So they have all this cortisol at night, and then they have a hard time falling asleep, or maybe they fall right asleep, but then they don't stay asleep, or they wake up in the middle of the night, and then they're exhausted in the morning because they peaked at a different time of day. Sometimes the dysregulated rhythm is more in terms of they just have too much of it all day. So you have a lot of hypoglycemic type symptoms, and these type of people, if you experience this, please talk to your doctor. Intermittent fasting is probably not right for you. Again, your doctor will tell you what's right for you, but I'm guessing because intermittent fasting can raise the cortisol, that you'd have to err on the side of caution, I guess is my point. If your doctor has given you the go-ahead, though, and if you do not have those problems, for many people, they have had good results doing intermittent fasting to increase insulin sensitivity. So meaning that helps get their blood sugars under control, and they're not as erratic. So that's something to note. I am going to post quite a bit more on all of the things that I just talked about in the group page after this video. So make sure you're checking those as well. Again, I'm trying to I did the poll on the group page, and so I'm trying to get it to where I'm giving everybody the things that they said that they were hoping for. Some people said they wanted videos, some people said they'd like to read through things or see graphics. So I'm trying to make sure I give you guys all sorts of different things instead of just sitting here for 20, 25 minutes listening to me ramble. I'm going to type some stuff up, or on the flip side, instead of having to read through tons of stuff, I'm trying to break it up. So make sure you're checking the page, because every day of these 7 days there's going to be multiple posts. I did yesterday label them, so it's day 1 step 1, day 1 step 2, day 1 step 3. Today I'll do the same thing. Look for day 2 step 1, day 2 step 2, day 2 step 3. If you have any questions, though, too, also please feel free to just send me a message or post it in a comment on the page if it's not too private. And I'm going to try and get those on today. So again, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Keep your notifications on, and we'll chat then. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.